My name is Richard Myers, M-E-Y-E-R-S, and I'm a lieutenant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Are you all ready? Okay. As you know, this case started out as a missing persons investigation, and unfortunately, I'm here to tell you today that it is now a homicide. On May 5th, 2-year-old Amari Nicholson was reported missing from the Emerald Suites on Paradise and Twain. During the course of the investigation, it became clear that the circumstances were suspicious. We brought all of the resources of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department to this investigation, including the homicide section. As the investigation progressed, it became very clear to us that Terrell Rhodes was our primary suspect. I'm here to tell you today that Terrell Rhodes has been booked for the murder of Amari Nicholson. There will be additional charges, however. While the arrest was taking place, Terrell Rhodes chose to fight with police officers, and during the course of that fight was briefly able to retrieve an officer's firearm. That incident was quickly de-escalated, and Rhodes was transported to the Clark County Detention Center and booked accordingly. I know you have questions. This is an active and ongoing investigation. We are still asking the public that if you have any information regarding Amari Nicholson's murder, to please contact Crime Stoppers at 702-385-5555. Thank you and have a good evening.
Can you talk about where the Amari is? Do you know?
These cases are difficult. These are the toughest, and it's part of what we cover here at Court TV. I mean, there are a lot of horrific murders, a lot of different scenarios, but I think cases like this are the ones that at least make me the most angry and looking and searching for justice, because I don't understand it. I don't understand how anyone could do that to a child, how anyone could do anything but take care of a child and love a child. So, Terrell Rhodes, charged with first-degree murder, made his first appearance in court. Let's take a look at how all that happened inside the courtroom.
This is the time set for the Las Vegas Justice Court initial appearance court calendar morning session. The purpose of today's hearings is to determine whether probable cause exists for recent arrests. Additionally, I will address custody status. I'll hear arguments of counsel. Before court, for each individual, I reviewed a temporary custody record, arrest report, Nevada pretrial risk assessment tool, criminal history, and other statutory factors. I'd like to call one case out of order, the Rhodes matter. The State of Nevada versus Terrell Rhodes, case number 21PC022443. Are you Mr. Rhodes? Right, Mr. Rhodes appears to be present in custody. Mr. Rhodes is here because of an arrest on May 11th of this year for first-degree murder, a felony offense arising out of an incident alleged to have occurred on May 5th of this year. Before court, I did review the items that I mentioned earlier. I did find probable cause for the arrest. I did note a pending misdemeanor case, and I'll next hear from the state as to their position on custody status.
We're asking for detention pursuant to 178.484 subsection 4. We believe proof is evident, presumption great that the defendant committed first-degree murder in this particular case. We would note that the defendant lied for approximately 1 week regarding covering up the murder that he committed against this child. The defendant ended up confessing to Metropolitan Police detectives that he abused the child, hit the child numerous times, causing his death. He then ended up hiding the body after this occurred. Subsequent search of the defendant's residence found corroborative evidence inside, including blood on the wall and soiled child's clothing. So we're asking for detention in this particular case.
Thank you. I'll next hear from the public member.
In your honor, my request is for the court not to make any decision regarding Valdez Jimenez or any entitlement for release or bail pursuant to 178.484, and instead allow Justice Court to make that determination in light of the fact that they are equipped to handle a evidentiary hearing to make that determination. So that's my request at this time.
All right, thank you. The state is entitled to detention at this early stage of proceedings based on the nature of the charge. I am going to order that the defendant be detained pursuant to statute detained without bail. Now, I am not going to make a decision as to whether the state has met their burden. What I have is about a page and a half arrest report. So there may be this may be readdressed at a future court date. This is likely going to be handled by specialty teams within the district attorney's office and possibly public defender's office. So there may be a hearing in the future to address custody status. But at this early stage of proceedings, Mr. Rhodes is ordered detained without bail.
Detained without bail. And I just want to remind you, you saw that grown man in court charged with first-degree murder. Once again, I want you to see little Amari, 2 years old. 2 years old. I mean, 2 years old is that age where, you know, toddler, they're starting to become little humans. Like he's becoming a little man and getting that personality and, you know, starting to communicate and talk and question everything and just, you know, the eyes are wide open, seeing everything for the first time, right? And kind of understanding it as a 2-year-old. And that life was taken. That life was taken. Alleged confession in the case as well. Could be a very strong case for prosecutors. Now, Taylor Nicholson is Amari's mother, and our affiliate KTNV spoke with her after that court appearance. Take a listen.
First of all, what do you want to say about Amari?
He was an innocent soul. He loved pizza and oranges, and his favorite thing was Cocomelon. And he loved music and just running around dancing. He was always a happy baby, even when, you know, times get hard or whatever, and you judge your character as a mother. You know, he was always patient, and he loved everyone regardless of everything. And now with him being gone, you know, it's getting difficult. You still see him running around, you still see everything, you still hear everything. And now we just gotta live through what he loves the most to keep his spirit close to all of us, and until that one time we could see him again.
How come it was important for you to come to court today?
Because this man betrayed me, he hurt me, he took my whole purpose of life away from me. And I don't want him to sit back and think that he's gonna get this at all easy. He took a precious child away from many people. And he needs to pay attention to how we all feel, because this is not okay.
You know, you can choose not to answer certain things, right? So I just want to be clear. But, you know, the public is suspicious of you. Mm-hmm. You're also a mother who lost a child. What do you want to say to address that?
I feel like it's hard for me right now. I can't grieve in peace. I can't grieve properly at all. I'm being advised to stay home because it's unsafe. I'm not being able to be included in any of this, and I'm the one hurting the most. My baby's gone. I can't, it's hard. And everyone in the public, you know, we respect your reach outs for the ones who do actually genuinely care and at least are trying to understand just as we are. And for the ones with the negative comments, we're still in court. I can't, it's very limited for things to be able to be said in the first place. And the negative comments is horrible. My son's up there looking down on all this, and he loved everyone for anything. And to sit here and see that this has brought hatred out of people when we're mourning over a child, that's horrible. He would not want that.
And so, did you believe Terrell when he said a woman came to pick up Amari?
I did. I had trust in him, and I would have never fathomed that this would have been the outcome. It's horrible.
Was there ever a point before his arrest where you didn't believe him?
No, not necessarily didn't believe, just started being more aware of the signs until on Wednesday when we went to Metro.
When you found out, what went through your mind?
My head just fell. I was disappointed. I felt betrayed. I just felt my whole insides just fall out. I had hope that I was going to see my baby again, and they told me that was never going to happen.
And again, I just want you to address, I want you to have a chance to address what people are saying. And one of the things is you talked to a couple of reporters, right? And Terrell shared his version of what happened, which we know police say is a lie now. But people said, well, how come she wasn't crying? Or how come she was so calm? Or what do you want to say to people who are sort of criticizing you?
Everyone handles stress and irritation a whole different type of way. And I mean, I've seen comments on Facebook from people I haven't even talked to in months, years, who you have to know me to understand. I've never been the type of person to just sit here, start crying, and let everybody know what my emotions are. I've always been a closed-off person. And so me being in front of detectives and reporters, I want to try to be level-minded to try to understand the full circumstances of what's going on instead of sitting down, breaking down about, and not being able to really gather all the information. I've had my moments of breaking down every time I'm alone or I leave. I'd be doing anything and just start crying. I don't know, I try to just keep my head strong.
I just have a couple more questions for you. Do you want to address leaving Amari with Terrell and not taking him to Colorado?
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay, you don't have to. Do you have a support system?
It's small, but it's something. We're trying to get through everything.
Anything else you want to say, and anything about like a memorial or funeral arrangements?
We're still conversating and trying to work something together. And
More likely, all those things are going to be private, so it won't be a notice of anything. Maybe until after it happens, but the family would like to have their time and have that in private, at least so she can be safe to. People been asking as well, why hasn't she been out here? But it's like you guys are throwing hate at the same time, and it's like, how do you want her to come out here and feel safe trying to search for her son or be out here with you guys if you guys are, throwing hate? So, it's just a difficult situation. I'm just telling her to keep her head up. We just have to move forward. So as long as she get her time to grieve and lay her baby to rest, at least privately without any other mess, after that, everybody can have their opinion on what they want to say and speculate. Because again, she wouldn't be here, standing right here, if she had something to do with it. So, everybody's going to figure that out, once everything's all said and done, and just let it be.
Incredible tragedy, incredible tragedy. We'll continue to track and cover that story as things develop and more information comes out and as the court case progresses.